Well, I've got this hooked up to a bottle of argon CO2. I've got this set at I'm going to run it down to 20 amps. I haven't really figured the settings out. Turns out you do have to put this jumper here into this to give power to the wire. I don't know if my argon's going through, but I did try it on this piece and it made a pretty good weld. I burnt the whole thing off. So now I've got a little piece of stainless here, and I'm gonna put you down here, and I don't know what kind of video we're gonna get out of here or what the background is. Hopefully I don't get sparks into the camera. So I'm just going to try to make a little pass here at low speed. Well, it made a pretty good weld there. I'm going to try it at the lowest speed. Let's see what I can get out of that. Yeah, it looks like it's making a lump on the end of the wire. Not doing so good. I'm going to bump the wire speed up to the next one. Well, that's looking pretty good. I'm putting more metal on it. Try the next speed up. It says 80 amps. We'll see what happens. 80 something. Well, that's a pretty good weld there. And we'll just try it up to here to 100 amps. See what that does. Well, that's making a little better. I don't know if my gas is hitting it yet. And let's try, I'll just go to the maximum 110. It should ball up at this point. And it burnt right through the metal. So I'm going to pull this back to 100. It says 82 on that dial. I don't know what that means either. Well, that looks like it's about the best weld without burning through. I've got my gas set at 10 cubic feet per minute. That's probably kind of low. I'm going to try one right here on the edge of this and see what happens. right through. Pull this down to 50. See what that does. That's burning through as well. Try it pass with 50. Well, that looks like it's about the right setting for 110. It didn't burn through until I got to the edge. Let me see if I can get a little thicker piece and see what happens. Alright, here's a piece of 1/8 inch. You can see that it's kind of flaming out. The more I pull it away, the more I'm getting on it. Let's run our speed up to 80. I put a nice big high pile on it, but I'm not getting any penetration. So I'm going to back this off again to 80 ounce, or 80, I guess it's 80 ounce. Yeah, that's putting a nice bead on there. Look like it's starting to penetrate pretty good. It's going to take some practice with this welder, I can tell you that. Now I'll try welding 2 thin pieces together. Alright, here's 2 pieces of stainless. Lap weld them. Hopefully I'll get a bead in here. Looks like it's welded it pretty good. I'm walking off of my edge. I'm going to try to get it right in between. Yeah, that's a much better weld. And it looks like it's penetrating good. I'm going to turn my speed down to 26A. We're going to try another same deal here. Well, that's starting to burn out and puddle up. Yeah, I'm going to turn it down to 20. See what this does. It's just not putting enough metal on it. So that adjusts the wire feed. I'm going to run it back up to 80. Whereas what we had before was welding pretty good. See if I can get a bead. Yeah, that's much better. Looks like 80 is the sweet spot for this, and it's going all the way through and penetrating. Now, just for the fun of it, I'm going to try to weld a thin piece onto a thick piece. Yeah, the arc is jumping there. It's not really penetrating into the thick piece. And I was making a pass side to side. Now I'm going to try some spot welding here on a butt weld and see what happens. Yeah, that worked pretty good. I laid them in nice there. Next thing I'm going to try is I've got some, this is all stainless. I've got a couple pieces of just sheet metal. It's kind of rusty and stuff, so I'm not expecting any super results with that. Try to hold them together with my clamp. We'll just see what happens. Good tack weld. And it looks like it made a pretty good bead across there. Much better than the flux core stuff. Alright, I'm going to clean up something here and see if I can try some butt welds and see what kind of results I get out of that. Well, here's a couple pieces of 18 gauge sheet metal. I've kind of got it cleaned up and put together. We'll see if I can get a little video of this. I don't have a tripod, so it's sort of hard to put the camera where you can see. Well, looks like it's sort of recording. First I'm going to try to tack this and see how tacking works. That looks good. Tacks really well. Looked like it penetrated all the way through. I'm going to try right here in the middle, just a little pass, and see if it melts it out or what. Yeah, it burnt right through. I'm going to turn my feed down a little. Just lower it 3 volts. Try it again and a little next to it. Yeah, lowered the voltage helped. Let's see if I can make it a little longer pass. Nope, I burnt right through it. Okay. I'm going to lower the down to 50. I don't know what 50 is, but I lowered it. Nope, burning right through. So I don't think that this is going to ever be able to lay a bead between two pieces. So I'm going to try a tacking technique and see how that works. It's working good. I got a hole here I'm going to try to patch. That worked. It looks like at that low speed I'm getting a big long arc. I'm going to try it back up at 80, which was my sweet spot before. Now I've burnt quite a few holes in here. Now I'm going to try to fix these holes and see how this works. Well, the patched hole's good. Got another one up here, see if I can fix it. Well, it seems to be working extremely well. Let's see if I can hold this camera and see if I can get this for you. I'm going to try to patch this hole right here. Yeah, that worked good. And the good thing about it is I don't have a tremendous amount of slag. I'm going to try one more little technique here. I'm going to try to weld this this section right here with like 4 tacks and let it cool and 4 tacks and see what I get out of that. Get my glasses on. Looks like the arc is jumping. Because of the cable. burning through it. Part of it, I think, is this two things. One, I've got a 30 thousandths tip on a 23 thousandths wire. I've got another place right here. I'm going to try to spot weld. That worked pretty good. Try one last effort. Do the same thing right here in this area. And I've got a pretty big gap in here. I'm just going to try to see if I can walk it back. Looks like the arc is still going even after I let off of the trigger for a second. Well, penetrated all the way through. I'm gonna try to weld a bead along this back side here. See if I can do that. Yeah, that worked good until I got over onto the single piece of metal and it burnt through. Try this side. Yeah, that welded a really nice bead on there. You can see where I missed my thing, and of course it penetrated all the way through. So all in all, I think the welder works real good. I'm not sure if I've got my argon gas set right or anything else, but for a test, I can tell when I'm welding, I'm able to put down a pretty decent bead there. I'm gonna try to run a bead on this piece of stainless steel. See what happens to that. Clean it off a little. I'm going to try to go right in this area where it's not really welded well. Well, that did a pretty good job. Right up till I got where the metal's high. This end up here is pretty close. Yeah, that welds a nice bead on there. So you can see that top one is that last one I did, and this one's pretty good. Now I'm going to try to patch that hole right there. And just try to short burst it. It's a single piece of steel. Just try to build up the edges. That did a reasonable job there. Got a lot of build up, but on the back side here it looks pretty good. One more. I'm going to try to make a bead right here on this edge. And that looks pretty good too. One more. I've got a big gap between this heavy metal and the sheet metal. I'm going to see if I can fill that with a pass. Didn't get to my big metal. Still missing my heavy metal. Yeah, you can see I'm probably doing 1/4 of an inch gap there, but compared to the old Harbor Freight welder I had, this is far superior. I'll try one more weld here with the right along the corner of the sheet metal onto the heavy stuff. That's welded pretty good. Kind of creeped onto my thin stuff. Now I'll try another one between the the 1/8 inch in that pass I just made. Yeah, that laid in there nice. Just another test of burst welding. Yeah, well, that looks real good. That's this one right here in the middle. And I don't have a lot of slag and splatter and shit to clean up. So that's kind of good results as far as I'm concerned. And the welder looks like it's 69. I don't know whether that's amps or wire feed. I think it adjusts itself. It's run on 110 MIG welding with 30 thousandths rod. So as far as I'm concerned, this is far superior to the other one. I haven't tried it with flux wire. I'll put some flux wire in it and give it a try on something else. And just for comparison, this was all stainless. This is just real thin 18 gauge sheet metal. It looks like it's welding it really well, and no splatter or hardly any. I can see the flame jumping around, but I think part of that's the wire feed problem with using too small a wire. So it's working good on stainless. This is 16 gauge, this 18 gauge. So this is basically what I'm making patch panels out of. So it looks like I found a sweet spot there to do this. And looks like all my welds are penetrating through pretty good. I got a nice edge weld right here. It's not going to take much grinding, so this should improve my panel work by a lot. I'll have to try it on the panel and see what happens.